Hey guys, Peter again. You can see our testing jig is still going strong here. We've gone through like barrels of coffee with it already. And we are now in the final stage before mass production, working out some silly little kinks that or like communication mistakes with the manufacturer or their mistakes. I'm gonna show you some of these things so you know what we're dealing with and what it takes to mass produce a grinder like this. So for instance, like there's some like really silly mistakes that are actually the manufacturer's fault. Like they made the logo in the silicone sleeve. You can see it says Goat Story here, but sadly it's not in our font. They just like, we sent them the plans for it, exact what font we need, and they just chose another font. So now that tool needs to be, that mold needs to be changed to have our font, not some generic font on it. Like another example that we actually couldn't predict before we had like the almost production pieces in our hands. This is the hex that couples the dock with the hand grinder. It goes on here and it spins. It spins in the dock, so the motor spins the hand grinder. And now with wire erosion technology for making this precise hex hole, actually we found out that the inside surface was a little bit rough, and with long use of the grinder this can catch the hand grinder and it's hard to remove. So we have to modify this procedure to make the inside of this hex smooth. This is what the handle looks like. This is actually the production version. The only difference will be the surface finish on this ball. It is now shiny, it will be matte. And we ordered this axle with a circular brushed finish like it is now, after I modified it by hand on the lathe. But we got the pieces just brushed in one direction, and that's one of the small things that make a product pop or not. It's these details, and we insisted that this has to be changed to circular brushed for production. There were concerns about the handle. You heard squeaking in some of the videos when hand grinding. This is now definitely gone. I have the handle here. I can spin it as much as I want. It's not gonna make a sound. There is actually a bronze bushing inside here and grease that makes perfect lubrication and prevents any kind of squeaking of the handle. Here is another of those cups by the manufacturer. This is what we call a Jesus nut in the grinder. If some of you guys know about helicopters, you will know why we call it the Jesus nut. It holds the whole axle with the burrs inside the hand grinder, and because of the direction of the spin of the grinder when you are grinding, the direction of the burrs, it has to be left hand threaded, not standard right hand thread. We specified this in the drawings and designs, but sadly the manufacturer made the pre-production samples with a right hand thread. So now there's a possibility of it unthreading while you are grinding, and this is of course not okay. We need to change this for production. Thankfully, with a machined piece like this, it's not a difficult thing to adjust. And the last example that I have for you today, this is the main body of the dock. You see the bottom and the top, and how it goes together with this aluminum piece. You can see there is a tab here that catches in the aluminum, so it's clocked correctly. There is also a slot in the bottom part, but the manufacturer made a mistake on the mold for this plastic part, and they did not include the tab here. So now this could be assembled in any which way, which of course is not okay. And this is another feature that will have to be added to the mold. It was designed before, it was in the plans and the models, but they didn't see it or something. And that's why you make pre-production pieces, to make sure that mistakes like these are solved before you make the big production batch. So this update will be followed by a couple of shorter updates that you can see other parts of ARCO and also other people talking about them, not just me. And we encourage you to send us any questions you have, where we can answer them in these updates. So this has been like a pre-production, last minute pre-production update. We will keep you updated about when we are releasing the grinder. Thank you for joining me today, and have a nice coffee.